deeply concerned about the fact that the Prime Minister was silent for so long. None of us could understand it. But I will say to you that we are very glad that he broke his silence. Now we'd like him to approach the issue in Parliament to discuss it. This is the appropriate forum. Discuss it with the people. Share his anguish with all of us, because all of us feel the great anguish for the last 2-3 months.
The recent clashes between tribes of Kukis and Meiteis in the northeastern state of Manipur has left hundreds of civilians dead and thousands affected. Manipur, a state which is not new to violent clashes, is burning again after about 3 decades of peace between these tribal groups. The situation is in such a state that the government had to deploy the army to curb the insurgents. But why is this beautiful state in such a condition? What is the history of these tribes? Let us find the root cause of all these problems. To understand the dynamics of the current situation, we need to understand the cultural differences between these tribes first. Let us begin with the Meiteis. The Meiteis are the majority community in Manipur and have a long and distinguished history. They trace their roots back to the ancient kingdom of Kanglepak, which flourished in the region. The Meiteis developed a highly sophisticated culture, influenced by Hinduism, Buddhism, and indigenous beliefs. They established a centralized monarchy and fostered art, literature, and performing arts, giving rise to the famous classical dance form Manipuri. The Kukis. The Kukis are an indigenous tribe inhabiting the hills and valleys of Manipur, as well as parts of the neighboring states. The Kukis have a rich oral history and are known for their warrior traditions. They traditionally practiced shifting cultivation and maintained a strong communal lifestyle. The Kukis are further divided into numerous sub-tribes, each with their distinct dialects, customs, and territories. Additionally, there has been a steep rise in conversion of the Kukis tribesmen all around Manipur. This has also caused a sudden change in the demographics. The Nagas. The Nagas, comprising several tribes, primarily reside in the hills of Manipur. They have a complex and diverse socio-cultural framework. Historically, the Nagas were organized in small self-sustaining villages, with each village having its own administrative structure. The Nagas have traditionally been adept at agriculture, craftsmanship, and trade. Now that we know about the background of these tribes, let us understand the historical aspect of the conflicts and the root cause of the current situation. History. Manipur has a long history of interactions, both peaceful and conflict-ridden, among the Meiteis, Kukis, and Nagas. These interactions were influenced by territorial disputes, control over resources, and political power struggles. British colonial policies, including the creation of administrative boundaries, exacerbated the existing tensions and laid the groundwork for future conflicts. Ethnic identity and autonomy. The struggle for ethnic identity and autonomy has been a major source of conflict. The Meiteis, as the dominant community, have historically sought to preserve their cultural and political influence, sometimes leading to tensions with the Kukis and Nagas, who aspire for greater self-determination and recognition of their distinct identities. Land and resources. Land ownership and access to resources have often been contentious issues. The Kukis, primarily concentrated in the hills, have experienced clashes with the Meiteis over land encroachment and competing claims. Similarly, the Nagas have engaged in dispute with both the Meiteis and Kukis over territories and resources such as forested areas and fertile lands. Insurgency and militancy. Manipur has witnessed periods of insurgency and militancy, with various factions representing different tribal groups. These armed movements have arisen due to grievances related to political representation, economic marginalization, and perceived injustices. Such conflicts have further strained relations between the Meiteis, Kukis, and Nagas. Geopolitical factors. Manipur's location at the crossroads of India's borders with Myanmar and Bangladesh has influenced its dynamics. Geopolitical interests and external factors have occasionally fueled tensions between the tribal communities as different groups align themselves with external powers seeking influence in the region. Now let us move on to the recent clashes. Until the end of April, only Kukis and Nagas were given the scheduled tribe status by the government. However, the Meiteis too have long been trying to get the ST status. The case went to the High Court, which also gave its nod, directing the state government to recommend it to the Union Tribal Affairs Ministry. This infuriated the Kukis Zo tribe, according to whom giving ST status to the majority Meiteis would nullify the value of it. Even if the Meiteis comprise a little over 50% of the state's population, they are still a small community and therefore not free of the fear of being dominated by other communities. This fear on both sides of being overshadowed by the other side led to the violent conflicts between the two groups. Until now, about hundreds of houses have been burned, causing great harm to the lives of people. Although the government claims to have the situation under control, there still happens to be a few clashes between the groups. The history of the Meiteis, Kukis and Naga tribes of Manipur is a complex tapestry of shared experiences, conflicts and aspirations. Understanding the root causes of their problems requires a nuanced perspective that encompasses historical, socio-political and geographical factors. To foster peace and harmony, it is crucial to address these grievances, promote dialogue and work towards equitable solutions that recognize and respect the unique identities and aspirations of each community. Through reconciliation and mutual understanding, the people of Manipur can build a future that celebrates their diversity and preserves their shared heritage. This was all for this video. Thank you for watching.
Subscribe to One India channel and never miss an update.